Hello everybody, welcome to the dojo. As promised, I'll be making a lot more videos this year. I'm already up ahead of schedule. I got one video coming out and testing things out. Got an unboxing today. I've been waiting. I've had this box for like 2 or 3 days now. So I'm super excited to open it. I've been waiting for this knife to come out for like over a year. So it finally came out. EDC's gotta be the freaking Cold Steel Espada XL, especially for today's video because this thing is so huge. This box is super heavy. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm not gonna waste too much time. There's a lot to go over in the video, so I'm gonna try to speed through it. And today's my day off, so we're supposed to be doing some shopping later, so I gotta do this really quick so I don't waste the entire day. And you see how I do this. When you got a big knife like this, I don't know how many people I've told this, so I might as well tell all y'all. When you got a huge knife like this, just grab the very tip and just use it like a scroll, like a pencil, and you could get in there. You can get in there and not hurt yourself, is what I'm trying to say. So when you have a huge knife, you can just use the last itty little bit of it and be more precise with it instead of holding it back here. You're a lot more risky back here doing this type of stuff, especially if you're holding with this hand, stabilizing. Oh, and I always forget. So I got my coffee right here. I'm gonna need some coffee for this video because it's gonna be such a long video. I forget I'm wearing a mic, and in the last video, I apologize. I didn't realize how disgusting and disturbing it sounds drinking coffee. So now when I drink coffee, I'm gonna have the editor mute that. So you don't have to hear that. And if you wanna know what it sounds like, just go to my video I just posted before this one. It's not great. All right, so got this really cool book here. I actually love when they send literature, and that's quite a few pages, especially when it's January, it's a brand new year, and there's a lot of new products coming out. And whoo, I actually really love, this is a picture they teased. You can zoom in, maybe, no, you can't zoom in, but it's the picture they posted on their Instagram where it's just like every one of their knives in their whole catalog all in one scale picture. I really like that. I'll be going through this later. Whoa, it's actually like a Pokédex. I just went through it really quickly. It's a really nice book. Shout out to Tops. I don't need to see that. All right, let's get into it. Their packaging has changed quite a bit. So now it comes in just, let's see what does it say? It says 1 life, 1 knife. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe in 1 life, 1 knife. Oh, drop the chapstick. You know, Tops always sends chapstick. Chapstick fell right out. So we got the chapstick. Shout out to Tops. What is this actually? HP 100 knife oil. Cool. Oh, here she is. It's beautiful. So I've been waiting so long for this. Let's get it out of its peel. Oh. Look at that lockup. Holy moly. This is a scary knife. I actually did have a accident with this knife and lost a couple fingertips, but they grew back. Your fingertips can grow back with a good diet, good proper nutrition, cellular regeneration, anti-angiogenesis, autophagy, cellular regeneration. I mean, I could make a whole video on that, but it's actually coming. I have a project coming out on that soon. All right, get that out of the way. Get this out of the way. Oh, and their whistle. All right, so the whistle, I'm gonna take the whistle off because the Tops whistle, I don't know if you guys know, this is the Tops whistle, I'm not gonna blow it, but the Tops whistle is a staple of any knife collector. If you don't got at least 5, 6, 7 Tops whistles, you're not really a knife collector, you're not really a knife connoisseur. I actually haven't got one in quite a while too, so it's cool that they're still doing that. Let's get this, whoo, quick out the sheath. All right. Oh, wow. Some paracord. It's got some paracord. I haven't seen Tops do that. Let me know in the comments if that's something Tops has been doing for a long time, or they just started doing it, but they sent some paracord. Okay, so right away, the handle's really wide. It's got a really big handle, but the blade, I've been stalking this blade online for a long time since they announced it. And the blade is every bit, I already don't like this lanyard here. I'm gonna take it off. But yeah, the blade is even more beautiful in person. The dimensions, it's much smaller. It's much smaller than they make it look. This thing is very, I don't know, we'll see in a minute, but I was hoping it would be a lot bigger. Very small for the price, and it's not cheap, but it's actually not that expensive. It's right around in the middle. I would say it's around the upper to medium price range, but we'll find out. I think you do get a little bit of extra value in it. It is quite expensive, but I did get it on sale, so I can't complain too bad. Let me see. Let's get up to the camera and we'll check this out. All right, let me get the chapstick out of the way. And then let me put the, see what I'm saying? This thing's just massive. This thing's ginormous, but then look at this, you know? You would imagine that the GINUNTING would be a little bit bigger than that. Let me get this bad boy put away as well. And move the coffee over here. All right, so let's really get into this thing. It's much smaller than I thought it was gonna be. Much smaller. The blade length is what I'm talking about. The handle is much wider than it looked. Big old handle. I mean, not a, you could slide it up on there. I actually do like the rear pommel section. Really nice. It actually is really nice, really beautiful micarta. I believe it's micarta, yes. Linen micarta, I believe. The blade though, however, is a really beautiful profile. Really sleek, really elegant. I'm pretty sure it's 1/4 inch thick, as most Tops knives are 1/4 inch thick. Really wide, really wide, really thick blade. The point isn't very, I'm not sure what the word is, but it's not very pointed as you would think it would be. The blade, the edge does look very nice though. Looks like it'd be a great cutter, because even though it is 1/4 inch thick, though it is 1/4 inch thick, the width of the blade is, and the grind of it, I don't know if you can see that grind line right. The blade is coated black, but yeah, this line right here, that's about the height of the grind line, and they carry it all the way to the tip. Real high grind on that, on both sides. X16 GINUNTING. And they've been teasing this bad boy for like a year, maybe over a year. And I've just been waiting, and they finally posted it on their website. I was finally able to get one. Now, I can already tell the balance. Not a fan of the balance of it. No one said anything about it. It's been floating around SHOT Show and Blade Show, and no one said this about it. I think they're afraid to say it because they're sitting right there at the booth. But the balance isn't great. I feel like it's a lot in my hand. A lot of the weight is in my hand, which slows the actions down. I'm not sure if that's how to even say that, but the balance isn't necessarily. The balance is rear bias, so it makes it almost drags. It feels like you're dragging the weight. And the only reason I can say that is because I'm going to show you some competitive options. But so far, I'm really happy with it. It did come with a sheath. Not a bad sheath. It has the split back here, which I do like. That means you can just drop it in up here, drop it down. Kydex sheath. Beautiful sheath. Whoo! And it just pops out. So 10 out of 10 on the sheath. It just has a weird balance, a weird weight. But if all you were doing with your knife was doing knife fighting, self-defense, not the greatest, it'll still do it. And I mean, it'll still do it well, very well. Not your greatest choice, not the best choice that I even have at arm's reach right now. But it's a beautiful blade. And I've been waiting for this for a long time to come out. Now, if you were looking for something that was more of an year-long, multi-year-long lifetime, one knife, one life, you're using it for everything, survival, bushcraft, wood chopping, food prep, then yeah, this would actually be a really good option. This is a tank. It's a beast. You could probably light fires and keep a fire going for one knife, one life. One knife, one life. You know what they say in tops. So it's tops made, one knife, one life made. If this was your one knife, one life, yes. But it's also the proportions, like, because I like to carry my knives on like a, well, you know, I got different scenarios, but mainly what I think about a blade this size, this would be like some type of, gotta be careful how I word it, but some type of, what does they call it? WROL situation, without rule of law situation, where you had to defend yourself and your family and your property and your life. If you had to defend your life in a situation like that, that's what I would carry this for, and I would carry it right on my armor. I would carry it on my LBE, right around here in this position. That way I could just, see, this one's too big. I'd have to change the angle. This one's, I don't know. Even with how it comes out quick, I might be able to rig something up. And we'll see too, because I'm gonna show you kind of how I got everything set up. I won't show the full thing. I used to show the full thing. I used to show a lot of it in my older videos, but I don't want to get demonetized, so I won't show everything that I do with everything that I have. But you can use your imagination, and I will show some of it pretty soon. I'll make a lot more videos about how I would carry this, why I would carry this, and what situation I would carry a knife like this. Maybe not this exact one, I've got some better options. But for right now, since it's the first one out, it's gonna be rank number 1. I don't know, I don't wanna spill my coffee. All right, let's get it really get it in there. Can you see it? Oh, hey, it looks beautiful. So, tops, GINUNTING X16, rank number 1 so far. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to unrank it. I'll start smallest to biggest. This one right here, it already beats it. Unfortunately, it's just, this knife is impossible to beat. It's got the thumb press, it just pops out, it's alive. This one, you can't get it. You can't get these anymore. This is an MP, Matthew Paul. This one is an example of an MP Drifter XXL with lightning strike carbon fiber, brass. There's some brass, a lot of brass in there, a lot of carbon fiber. The pins are carbon fiber with brass. Can't get it anymore. 9th century Viking style. You've seen this knife a lot on the channel, but how to make this knife for me. You can't get him anymore. He now works, he used to be a blacksmith, but now he makes like telescopes, space age stuff. Really cool guy, amazing guy. If you're an MP fan, let me know in the comments. Shout out to my MP brothers and sisters. I really do love MP. He's my favorite blacksmith. He got me into knives. Here's another example of an MP Drifter. This is an MP Drifter XL Harvester. It's also got a lot of carbon fiber on there. This one here is also my design right here. Had him design this for me. You can tell I love the curved blades, but just right here in my hand, these are some of my favorite knives right here. Impossible to beat them. This one is already gonna go like rank 1 because you can't tell from the handles, but these handles They feel so good. They feel so good in your hand. You're able to just get such a good grip. And this blade doesn't look very big after holding the GINUNTING. Let's do a comparison. So this is what I believe a 9-inch blade looks like to the GINUNTING, and I'm actually spacing out. I don't know how big the GINUNTING blade is, but when I first started out knife collecting, I thought a 9-inch blade was a big knife. I thought this was a huge knife, actually. But sticking to the criteria of a self-defense survival knife, I would actually rank this one up just a little bit quicker, especially how I was saying. As a matter of fact, I'm very biased because this is the knife that I keep on my LBE. This is the Molly that it has, got the fire still. But this just, yeah, I could clip it in right here. I could clip it in right here. I could put it at any angle on my back. But I don't mind just having it right here. It might seem a little bit high on the chest, but I don't mind that at all. I like having it maybe even right here. And the reason for that, ooh, it's tough. It's got a tough lockout. The reason for that is because I wouldn't use this as my primary go-to, so I have time to pull it out. And when it is strapped down to the vest, it does pop out a lot easier. It's just such a great lockup that it doesn't come out without a really nice pull. So this one, I'm gonna rank it probably, I'll put it just at a tie. I'll put it just at a freaking tie, right about there. Whoops. Yeah, trying to stab it without cutting my arm. All right, the next knife. Let's see what this one looks like. Ooh, this one. Again, it's got another good sheath on it. This one, a little bit bigger. Not by much. I think this one, oh, is it smaller? Might be smaller. I'm not exactly sure. Haven't done a, okay, so yeah, by my eye, this one is just a little bit bigger. This is, I forget, who is this? Work Tough Gear. This is a Work Tough Gear, one of their Bowies, I forget the name. Puzon Wilderness. Puzon? This is the Puzon Wilderness Bowie. And for all intents and purposes, this is exactly designed for what I'm talking about. Everyday use, camp tool, bushcraft tool, survival knife, fighting knife. And the balance on this one, oh man. The balance on this one, whoever designed this knife is a lightning bolt in the hand. This one is, the balance is just perfect. It's just, you don't want all the weight. You don't want all the weight back here. You want the blade so when you move it and you activate it, it just follows through. And I hope it's coming across on camera how this knife is just balanced. It flows in the hand. It really does. It's beautiful. It's kind of a small blade, but also it has an amazing sheath. This is number one. This one already just, this jumps ahead number one. It even beats the MPs that I have a more nostalgic, more bias on those. But in terms of tech, even the thumb ramp on that sheath was really amazing. In terms of tech and usability, it's thick too. I would say that's a 1/4 inch or thicker. Has kind of that same shape there, the usability of it. I would put this one ahead. I can't talk too much. I don't have too much time. So I'll put this one ahead just a little bit. So now we got the tops. Here, I'll do them in order. So what do we got? We got the Puzon. We'll go Puzon. We'll go MP. And then we'll go tops. And that's the current rank so far, right? Now this one here, it's like this, probably the cheapest option so far. It's a cold steel. Ooh, yeah. Secure X sheath, they call it, but it isn't too much different than any of the other sheaths I've showed you. This one's just colored. This one's black with a lot of, this one's a really nice sheath. But this one's just really sleek, really beautiful. Milled out. I like the milled out slots. That's why this one has the milled out slots also to save weight. And they were going for the same thing for Cold Steel. So shout out to Cold Steel going for kind of like that custom looking route. But this knife is beautiful. This is Warcraft Tonto, according to the markings, Warcraft Tonto. And this is the, looks like 3/16 maybe. maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe a little under. This is a really good size knife, really good size knife. And it's really light. Really light in the hand. The balance isn't quite as good as the Puzon. The Puzon actually had this more of a lively feel in the hand. It made you want to play with it. It made you want to wield it. This one makes you want to slice and do quick movements. At least maybe it's just my mind going there with it. It feels like nothing in the hand. It feels like it's made out of aluminum. It feels like I could probably, I kind of want to just throw it, but it feels like nothing in the hand, very lightweight. It would be a joy to wear on LBE. It'd be a joy to just wear and post up all day right around there. And in terms of a survival knife though, not good. It's gonna break, I can tell you right now. Too thin. It's too thin and the grind is too aggressive. That grind is too aggressive that if you're chopping wood, cutting wood all day, cutting a tree down, you're not gonna cut a tree down. Now, you might find some people on YouTube cutting trees down with this knife. And there's a 3V version, so keep that in mind. But just because of that, you know, and you'd be surprised, I'm only gonna rank it here just because there's nothing at the end of the line yet, but this is still gonna beat out some options only because of the price. It's very cheap, and I keep that in mind. So for the price, not a bad option right there. Another little coffee break. Had to get a little coffee break in there because the next one is just beautiful. This one right here, it's another GINUNTING. This is another GINUNTING right here. I'm not sure the design right there. It's made by Fox Knives, but it's a Bastinelli design. And this is my top number one GINUNTING right now. The reason is the thinness of it, or the lack of the thickness of it. I mean, look at that. If you stack up 15 sheets of paper, if you stack up 10 sheets of paper, that's about as thin as this knife stock is, and it still has that super wide grind, super wide, super aggressive grind on it. And not only is this one's so fast, this one's so fast in the hand that it actually might make you a little bit too overconfident. You know what I'm saying? Like when I have this one in my hand, I would actually feel like I would wait till the last second. I would wait till my opponent was making their last move, because I'll be able to intercept them and just, you know, sometimes those interceptions lop an arm off. This one might actually make you, even though it's so light, it might make you think you want to be offensive with it. But in my mind, because it's so light, it kind of gives me that false sense that whatever they have, I'll be faster. You know, this is kind of the sense it gives you, is that whatever they have, you'll be faster. This way is nothing. It's an ultra, ultra, ultra light. And let's see here. Doing tip tests, I guess, also on the GINUNTING. Not that much of a size difference. So that's what I was telling you. I thought the tops would be a lot bigger. Sure, it's an inch or two longer. Maybe it's not even more than 2 inches longer. Not even more than 2 inches longer, but it weighs substantially. It weighs about 5 pounds more. It feels like it's very, very heavy. It weighs 500 to 700, 800% times more. It's very heavy. So if someone had this one, if someone had the tops, this would win. Just because you'd be able to intercept any movements they did. This is very, very, very quick in the hand. But in terms of chopping wood, believe it or not, I think this would still win. This would win in chopping wood, but this wouldn't break and shatter like the cold steel, because it's so thin. It would be able to vibrate and it would be able to take a lot of shock, kind of like a machete. But depending on the heat treat, it could still break. I think this would still break on you, and I think this would still win in a one knife, one life scenario. But I don't plan on taking my knives. I don't plan on taking one knife on a single lifelong adventure. I mean, yeah, this does have some bend, some spring. I just had a test. It's got a little bit of spring to it. So I think it would, you could smack on a tree. You could smack on some wood with it. I wouldn't, personally. Look at that, beautiful. Who knows what this handle is made out of? Very hard. It almost seems like some kind of plastic. Another really nice pommel. I like aggressive pommels. That's another theme of a GINUNTING. The more aggressive the pommel, the better you're able to use that. And I incorporate that in a lot of my own designs. So in terms of a fighting knife for my LBE that I would wear, I would put this one probably at number 1 right now. It would even beat the Work Tough gear. And it only beats the Work Tough gear because I don't expect my knives to last a lifetime in one setting. I would probably only use it. I mean, let's be real, I got backup. So I would probably run it until it breaks and I would have a backup. I don't need it to last forever or be super overbuilt. Another one, this is another custom design right here. This one actually, a buddy of mine, Steve Price, he has one of these and he posted it. Another aggressive pommel. And this is made by Sheath, Indonesia. And I forget what the actual blade is called. But he has a version. I got to be careful how I hold this one. He has a version of this one. And I asked if they could make me a 12-inch version. So this one's just a slightly longer than his. I'm not exactly sure what the design is. But when I seen the design, I knew I had to have it. But I don't necessarily like knives that are under 9 or 8 inches for this. Like I said, for this LBE WRL situation, this is about the size I like right here. This one's double-edged. I'm trying to get across. It's sharpened on both sides, so it kind of has that GINUNTING. This is kind of also, here we go again. This is also kind of has that GINUNTING shape factor to it, except for it's sharpened on double sides. And way lighter, way faster in the hand. So this would beat the X16 GINUNTING. And it's also quite thick. It's also quite thick. And it's very, very well made. I'm talking about the fit and finish on this. I gotta be careful where I hold that thing at, yeah. Very well made, very tight. The sheath on it too is amazing. Sheath, Indonesia. Shout out to Sheath, Indonesia. They do amazing work. And just having this, like I'm saying, if you just had this, it's actually reversed. I'd have to switch this around the other side because I would want it on this side for a right hand draw. I like to keep it here on a vest. Yep, out of the way of everything else that I would have on this side. Pull from the left. This also has kind of the same feel as the, which one is that? The Bastinelli. This one kind of has the same feel as the Bastinelli. It's really light, really fast. Feels like you could have almost that false sense of speed, which you never want to be thinking that you're that much faster. But yeah, let's see where would I put this. I would actually, and you know what? I'm going to be a little bit weird about it is that I'm not as familiar with the double-sided blades. So I'm not going to actually put it as high as you think I would. Oh, that'll be a good test. Oh, and you know what? That tip, that tip is so fine. I don't even want to stab it into the wood. But I feel like, wow, yeah, that's not very safe. That's not a very smart idea because the tip is so fine, it's holding the entire weight of the knife. But I'm gonna run it because what else is it about but testing these things? The next knife is a very weird one. This is a weird one. It's another Tops knife. But I had to get it. I was really curious. I'm sure a lot of you are really curious about this knife too. It's called the Tops Beastia. Oh yeah. You've probably seen this one around. It unfortunately has the same problem as the GINUNTING. It's very heavy, but surprisingly, and this might be a good example to showcase just how heavy the X16 is, the Beastia is a little bit, feels like lighter in the hand. The balance is a little bit better. The balance actually, it's weird. Even though the Beastia looks like 2 or 3 bricks taped together, the Beastia has, I feel like, a better balance. Let me get it back to my right hand. The Beastia feels like it has a better balance. I don't know if it's the angle of it. The Beastia, in my mind, not for the undersweep, but definitely this feels more cumbersome. The beastia, I don't know. The beastia might take it. I thought the beastia might end up at the back of the pack. And it still might. Let's see what we got. Put that one there. Put that one there. There we go. There we go, right there. This one, put this one back here. Yeah, so this guy, I might just lay it down there just because I don't want to mess the tip up on that guy. But yeah, this one, you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna have to put it there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put the beastia there. Still got the top 3 over here. The beastia, I don't know, it's still at the back of the list. It's just, it's so heavy. That's why those are the bottom 3. They're the bottom 3. This is the bottom 3 because the quality, I don't think it's gonna last very long. These are just really heavy and they just get better and better from there. These are the top ones up there, and then we have some redemption. We might have a little bit of redemption finally. This one here, it's another Tops design. Or it's a Tops knife, but it's designed by Pro Knife Thrower. And I had to get this one right here. This one's called the Lilith. Ooh. I love the coffin-shaped handle. It's kind of got like that coffin-shaped buoy handle. It's got a forward ring. And I like that recurve. It's got that shape to it. And okay, Tops, 1/4 inch thick. It actually has a really good, it has a really good balance. It has a really good flow to it. This is the first Tops knife that really has just a wonderful, beautiful flow to it. It feels good. It's actually, you're supposed to throw it. I haven't thrown mine. I did throw it actually. I did throw it, but I wouldn't use this as a throwing knife. I would use it like I'm speaking as like a general use self-defense knife that you'd always have on you while you're out and about. Wow. It's just beautiful. Yeah, this one is gonna go quite high. It's definitely gonna break into the top 3, I believe. So yep, the MP gets dethroned. And again, just since I have it out, the reason why is even though the pommel doesn't seem that aggressive, I could still use that pommel. It might damage the micarta. If anything, I could actually customize that. I could unscrew these scales off and I can bring back these pommels, cut these pommels down a little bit. Maybe not too much because there is a lanyard hole there, but I would like to see maybe some exposed pommel there. It is a throwing knife though, so they probably weren't planning that into the design. But yeah, in terms of anything I would use it for, I'll put this in the top 3. Right about there. And yeah, the Lilith doesn't really have a point. The Lilith doesn't really have a point, so it just like stabbing in. So maybe I'll put the Lilith down here too. All right, the next knife is just for comparison. I just want to show it. This one right here is an actual, right here. It's from the Philippines here. And it just has a really cool pommel there, traditional. Really nice and exceptional balance. For as simple and low tech as this knife might seem, just some steel and some wood. The reason why I wanted to bring this out is because the balance and the flow on this knife is the best right here. This is the, basically this is what you want. This is the peak in performance of knife fighting right here. This is what you want. This is, if you ever get a chance to hold one of these and give it a twirl, give it a spin, give it a slice, give it a dice, you're gonna know what I'm speaking of. Top tier, it's top tier. The only thing that would do it better would be a Kydex sheath. And I might be able to get it, a Kydex sheath soon. The only thing that might make this better is a Kydex sheath, but this is a really good knife. Even if you do disattach the handle, these handles are quite easily to repair. Rat tang. So the knife blade goes through here and pings at the back. So they're pretty easy to repair or throw on a wrap. But yeah, really good balance. The only thing it might suffer from is it might break. But like I said, I don't really care about that. I don't expect the knife to perform for 10 years straight. I'm gonna use a knife. I might use a knife 1 or 2 times and then I'll replace it. There we go. I might use a knife only 1 or 2 times and then I'll swap it out for another one. So I don't need it to be the only knife I ever use. All right, now this next knife, it's kind of like a gimmick, really. It's just this huge, ridiculous knife. It's really straight a gimmick. It's the hugest knife I've ever seen. It doesn't even fit on the screen. It's some type of Sheath, and like I said, I'm a fan of the Sheath design, so I had to check it out and would not recommend it. Just from holding it in front of the camera, it feels like it's gonna break. It's not a very sturdy knife at all, but it is kind of beautiful in a way. I feel like if you were in a situation where you had to pull a knife on someone, this would really deter somebody. I feel like there's a lot of those cheap, those really super cheap knives. And this is one of those super cheap knives that is actually worth it in my opinion, because just the shock factor, even if it is gonna break, and the balance is actually really good. I think it's a 14-inch blade length. For a 14-inch blade length, the balance is surprisingly good, and it would probably cut. It would probably do everything I need it to do. But I'm gonna put it in dead last just because I gotta make sure I got this one really good in there, because if that one comes down on me, it might be over. Now the last one, I saved the best one for last. This one is my actual GINUNTING right here. This is such a beautiful design right here. And this one was designed by, American, I believe, and made by Sheath, Indonesia. And this one right here is my #1 GINUNTING right here. Oh, wow. It has just as much length, I believe. It has just as much length as the X16 GINUNTING, but it's extremely fast. It's extremely fast in the hand, lightning fast in the hand. And I'll do a comparison real quick. You gotta be careful back here. Oh, wow. Actually, it's longer. So that's not good at all for the X16. It's longer than the X16 and it's faster than the X16. I think it's just as thick. It's just as thick. It's quite a bit longer. It's quite a bit longer than the X16. There we go. Get a thumbnail. It's quite a bit longer than the X16. And it's faster. So right away, right there. And it's probably way sharper. If you look at the grind line, it goes from the bottom of the edge all the way to the top. All the way down the entire length of the blade. Razor sharp. Redonkulous. This one, not even half the grind. Not even half the grind. Cost. This one's a little cheaper. This one's actually a lot cheaper, but not by much. So if you want, let me see, this one's gonna be rank #1. So let's let's restack these. Well, I got that one in there really good. We got this one. The Bastia. Poor Bastia. The GINUNTING ended up in the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4. The GINUNTING ended up in the bottom 5 in its own video, nonetheless. Here's another one, too sharp. We got the MP, the Lilith. Work Tough Gear. This one here, let's do one more comparison. Let me just show you. Yeah, see, the length doesn't really matter. It's about the speed. These are actually really comparable. And these, whoo, the combination of these, you can just feel light. You feel like lightning. You feel like lightning. You feel like you can, you're ready for anything to come ahead of you. It's gonna be tough, but I think I'm gonna just rank this one here. And then I'm gonna still keep this one, the top one, right there. I think that's the official rank, right there. So if you bared with me, this is the official rank right here. And these were just kind of like my larger survival knife, my larger knives. I've got even more of these like medium-sized knives right here. If you wanna see my rank of my medium-sized knives, and as I get more in the collection, or if you wanna see reviews about just any one of these, let me know. And I also have a lot of cutting videos. These are the knives I use in my cutting videos on my shorts. So that's about it. I gotta get going. This video, what is it? Oh wow, almost 45 minutes long. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. I read all the comments. Hope everybody has a good night. Peace.